this. That is really continuously every day, because this is something you have to do every day to keep this on the agenda, to keep it in the main topic of discussion. On the assets, I was involved myself in a proposal, a new piece of legislation concerning asset recovery. And there's also a separate debate going on about, because it's very complicated, and Mr. Soos probably knows much more about it than I do, because I'm not a judicial expert, but there's a complicated debate. First of all, separating public and private assets. So you have the private assets and the public assets. And regarding the public assets, there's a big debate going on, because in Europe, in particular, 2/3 of the public assets of Russia are in Europe, namely also in an institution in Brussels for the bigger part. And the debate is about what should we do with these frozen public assets of the Russian government. And for example, in my political group, but also in other groups, the debate is between people who want to walk the formal legal line and are a little bit afraid, because they say, yes, but this is a precedent, and oh my God, what is going to happen if we do this? I'm obviously a little bit on the other side of this debate. Yes, because that is also a very common mistake that we are making every day. We are comparing this situation to other situations we know. But as I said, and also Mr. Son said, this is touching the core of our existence. This is existential and should be existential for the European Union. Therefore, I think that we have the obligation not to say and not to go for the easy way out and say, yeah, I'm in favor of using all these assets. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying we are obliged, first of all, to the Ukrainians and to the people who are fighting that war, but also to the Ukrainians who will have a future in a free, sovereign Ukraine, which we, together with the Ukrainians, have to rebuild. And therefore, I think that we have to use the utmost creativity to use these Russian assets, simply because, also for accountability reasons, we need to make sure that this will not pass without Russia also taking responsibility for the damage they've done. So what are the scenarios for that? There are different variations. Some people say we can use it at least as a
like a mortgage,
for loans that you do with that as a sort of guarantee. And then if Russia in the future, after the war, will not live up to its obligations, you can still decide to use it or not. Another scenario, which is the most probably the most likely to get some kind of result, is to use at least the profits of the assets, and that could mount up to considerable amounts of money.
Because we're talking about hundreds of billions of euros altogether.
Yes, hundreds of billions of euros, but that could mount up to 15 to 16 billion in the coming years.
In interest and everything.
Yeah, but that is still considerable amount of money. Not enough, but it's still something. So that is the debate that is happening now, and there also the European Union plays an important role, because obviously this is not something that we do alone. This needs to be done also, like the oil price cap, etc., within the G7, because we have learned also that sanctions just by the European Union or initiatives just by the European Union will not solve all problems. We need to do that together with as large as possible international coalition of states.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. You're already talking about the role of the European Union, which will also be the panel, so we'll keep this in mind. As a last question to also kick off the panel, before we hand over to Ms. Dimitrova as well.
Yeah.
What do you think the role of Ukraine will be in the coming election for the European Parliament, which you will be very active in?
Yes. Yes, I hope to be re-elected again and to continue this fight, also on your behalf. No, what significance this topic will have in the campaign? I mean, if you ask me, this should be on the number one. It's going to be my number one topic. because it is connected with the core of who we are. So therefore, I think that, and it is important because obviously it's elections for the European Parliament, but these campaigns run in every individual member state. Every member state has its national debate, which is more or less positive about the continuation of the support of Ukraine. I am pretty worried about the situation also in this country, because we have members of parliament elected in the last national elections who defend positions in our parliament, open, publicly, that seem to have been taken from the daily distribution of Kremlin narratives. And that is worrying, because they are being listened to, they are being reported in our media without the proper countervailing arguments. So yes, we have a problem in the European Union anyway, but also in regards to the running of our campaigns, the foreign interference of our campaigns. So this topic, the security of the Netherlands, the security of our country, investment in security, investment in protecting our community of values, protecting our democracies. In my opinion, it should be part, or at least part in every debate that we will do about
well, whatever role we can play in that, let's try to go for that. We're going to open the panel, but first I would like to hear a large round of applause.